You know what? A movie like this is a prime example of expecting the worst, but hoping for the best. Hi there guys, thanks for coming to Cinema Bear. My name is Eric Ortiz, and today we're going to take a look at Borderlands, which is a big budget movie adaptation of the video game franchise that you can get on PC, Xbox, PlayStation. Great games, very interesting art design. And in this film, we're pretty much following Lilith, played fantastically and with super awesomeness by Cate Blanchett, and Roland, played by Kevin Hart, in a role that surprised me, but we'll get to that in a minute. And essentially, we're following this group of misfits trying to work together to open up a vault while being chased down. In terms of the directing, there's a lot of exposition at the beginning, but at no point do you feel like it's really like slowing down too much to give you information. That said, the exposition dumps come a little bit more frequently than I would have liked. The action, in terms of how the characters are presented, Eli Roth did a pretty damn good job here. The movie feels like you're playing the game. It is very colorful, very energetic. It reminded me a lot of this Luc Besson movie, Valerian, City of a Thousand Planets. Also, something earlier they did with The Fifth Element, and there's some Total Recall elements in there, and even, I mean, clearly a lot of Guardians of the Galaxy in terms of like having this just like dirty universe, especially once the characters get on planet Pandora. So I would say for a directing effort, Eli Roth did a overall decent to good job here. In terms of the acting, I don't believe any of these actors believe they're in a good movie. That said, they are having fun with what they're doing. In particular, Cate Blanchett as Lilith is awesome. If there's any reason alone to see this film, is just to see her just go in there, chew up scenery, and just have fun playing this ridiculous character. Kevin Hart, pleasant surprise. I am not a huge Kevin Hart fan. I think a little bit of Kevin Hart goes a long way. Sometimes he's funny to the point that he's no longer funny. Here, he's playing the straight man, and he's pulling it off. You know, kudos to him for actually reeling himself in and not just going for the ridiculousness. We also have Edgar Ramirez here playing Atlas, the big bad. It's a generic villain. It is a very much a video game / superhero villain, where one-dimensional, has a goal. These guys are in the way. He has to like plow right through them. So don't expect much. And, you know, we have Jamie Lee Curtis in there, who I believe is just in this because she won an Academy Award and this was a pretty big paycheck for her. But that's just speculation on my part. She's fine. She's pretty much just walking through this movie, saying her lines and giving some degree of credibility to the story. There's also a very small and kind of delicious performance by Gina Gershon that's in here. It's a small performance, but I guess what I'm trying to get at is that the cast here is just so good and actually above the material that they just make whatever you're watching more interesting than it actually is. And, you know, credit to all of them for actually pulling it off. One of the great things about this movie is the art design. I mentioned Valerian, City of a Thousand Planets, and Fifth Element earlier. This also reminded me a lot of this Lori Petty movie from ages ago, Tank Girl, where it is a grungy, like dystopian, you know, dumpster of a universe, and it looks interesting enough. I mean, if you take Mad Max and add some color to it, it is pretty much the Borderlands universe, and this movie does that pretty well. I didn't think that we were watching a movie that was lacking in quality. The money is on the screen. We are seeing a very big sci-fi piece of entertainment. So I'm kind of confused as to why this movie is getting so much hate, because at the end of the day, it's really not as horrible as, you know, like most of the movies or some movies that came out earlier this year. I can literally tell you without blinking an eye that this movie was a lot more fun than Kinds of Kindness. Kinds of Kindness was boring and, you know, monotonous and pretentious as all hell. This movie knows exactly what it is, and normally I would say this movie is Syncredibad, because there's enough here that should work that doesn't, and enough here that surprisingly works when it shouldn't. But I will give it a little bit of extra credit and say it's kind of interesting. If you're a fan of the Borderlands games, there's something here to enjoy. If you're a fan of, you know, just like sci-fi action movies, there's something here to enjoy. If you want to see a great actor like Cate Blanchett have some fun and just, you know, do her thing, there's something here to enjoy. So while I understand, I think the Rotten Tomato score being at around 7 or 8%, I understand the audience score being a lot higher, because if you're going to go to the theater and just enjoy yourself and not take a movie too seriously, Borderlands is that type of a movie. So yeah, that's my honest take on Borderlands. It's nowhere near as bad as some people might be saying. It's not, you know, I haven't seen the other reviews for the other critics because I kind of want to keep my opinion to myself. But I've seen some of the thumbnails and they all have like this kind of face to it, that was just me being silly. But in any case, thanks for watching Cinema Bear. I appreciate you guys checking out my videos, excuse me. And please like, subscribe, share, and give this movie a shot. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. I'm not saying it's great, but I will not call it a piece of shit. Take care.